Here we go with the top 10 Chinese knockoff cars around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to take a wild ride through the wacky world of Chinese knockoff cars, of all things. These vehicles are like those knockoff designer handbags that you've seen, but on wheels. You've never believed how similar they look to the real thing, but at a fraction of the cost. So put on your seatbelt, adjust your mirrors, and get ready for a long journey filled with laughs and questionable moral decisions, just like the rest of this channel. Are you ready to see how close Chinese companies can come to replicating the world's most luxurious vehicles? And sit back, relax, crack open a cold one, and enjoy the ride. Number 10, knockoff, BYD S8. Originally, the Mercedes-Benz CLK. From the land of knockoff designer bags and cheap knockoff watches comes the BYD S8, the ultimate knockoff car. BYD, short for Build Your Dreams, is one of the most popular Chinese car brands out there. But let's be real, the S8 is nothing original. It's just a cheap knockoff of the 2000 to 2009 Mercedes-Benz CLK convertible. But hey, if you can't afford the real thing, just get the BYD version and pretend you're balling on a budget. Number 9 knockoff, Landwing X7. Check this out, the original Land Rover Range Rover Evoque. Luxury SUVs are all the rage in China right now, but let's get real, they're a bit too pricey for the average Chinese car buyer. So what do? They create knockoff SUVs. Of course! Wouldn't you do the same thing? Meet the Landwing X7. Great name, by the way. The ultimate copycat of the current Land Rover Range Rover Evoque. So it's so familiar. It's just like they copy and pasted the whole thing. And the irony is, Landwing was the first Chinese automaker to sell cars in Europe with the X6 SUV in 2005, but apparently they don't have the guts to sell the X7 Evoque knockoff on the European continent. Just yet, at least. Number 8 knockoff, the CH Auto Lithia. Originally the Audi R8 e-tron. Folks, meet CH Auto, China's own version of the baritone or Pininfarina. They design, engineer, and build prototypes before they even hit production. But unlike those fancy Italian designer houses, CH Auto doesn't believe in originality. Introducing the Lithia, the ultimate knockoff of Audi's R8 e-tron electronic supercar. It was seen at last year's Beijing show, and allegedly it can drive up to 150 kilometers on the lithium battery power alone. But who needs originality when you can have a cheaper version of a fancy car, right? Knockoff number 7, the Diablo VT. Originally, the Lamborghini Diablo SV. Didn't even change the name on that one. Get ready for the ultimate DIY accessory supercar story. Meet Wang Yu and Li Linteo, two car enthusiasts who've been dreaming of owning a Lamborghini Diablo SV since they were kids, but since they couldn't afford one, they decided to build their own by stealing it with parts from the originally sourced from Taobao, Chinese eBay. After returning home from their mechanical engineering studies in the UK and Germany, they embarked on their dream project, and voila! The Diablo VT was born. The car is powered by a Toyota-sourced V8 engine that can go from 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds and has a top speed of 192 miles per hour. It set them back about $812,000, but definitely it's worth it when you can brag about building your own Lambo. Number 6 knockoff, Suzhou Eagle Carrie. Originally, we're still trying to figure that out. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on the latest knockoff car sensation. This one almost looks like a Porsche, logo and all, but don't let it fool you. They call it the Eagle, but let's be real here. Ferrari or Porsche would have been more fitting, given it's just like they glued together Ferrari onto the front and on the back of Porsche and added a logo to convince people that it's the real deal. But don't take our word for it. The internet agrees in the sarcastic comments posted below that car experts have labeled it as a pastiche of the worst kind. But don't worry, the industry is powerless to do anything about these Chinese clones because, as we all know, designs can't be protected in China under Chinese law. Providing that a Chinese automaker or manufacturer has infringed on a patent is like climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops. Good luck with that. Number 5 knockoff, Youxia X. Original design based off of, we're pretty sure, the Tesla Model X. What do you think? When we say the Chinese copy everything, we mean everything. Even the Tesla Model S is not above them copying and pasting. Control C, Control V. You know, the one Oprah bought a couple of years back that ended up adding her to the Tesla fan club. So the Chinese, not to be outdone by the media queen, decided to get back at her to create their own electric version. The Youxia X. The car is powered by an electric motor that has 348 horsepower and 440 newton-meters of torque, with an option of different battery capacities from 40 kilowatt-hours up to 85 kilowatt-hours. Inside, you'll find a giant touchscreen LCD that controls everything, and you can even connect your devices to it. Ooh, but the best part? The front grille can display anything from Kit OS, red light, to the Youxia logo, to a cat, or whatever. The possibilities are endless. Talk about being original. Number 4, Knockoff. Huansu C60. Originally, the Lamborghini Urus. When Chinese companies try to steal other companies' designs, they usually aim for the common cars, like Toyotas. But Huansu had some big plans in mind and went straight for Lamborghini's luxury SUV, the Urus. The first time we saw the C60, we couldn't really see the resemblance, but we didn't think too much of it. And then we started taking in the details. Huansu copied their Urus's front fascia design, split the headlights and taillights in the middle, smoothed out its side profile, and didn't even bother to change the rear diffuser, not even the color. But the cherry on top is the C60's price, just $20,000. That means that it's less than 10% of what a new Urus would set you back, so now you can have a fancy car without breaking the bank. Number 3, Knockoff. Geely GE. Originally, the Rolls-Royce Phantom. Check this out. The Geely GE, later rebranded as the McLaren GE, was announced in 2009, and according to Daily Mail, Geely really said that we're reinventing a classic. But in reality, they just drew a lot of inspiration from the Rolls-Royce Phantom, which was quickly noticed by Rolls-Royce themselves. It was hard for them not to notice, since the Geely GE was displayed at the Shanghai Motor Show right next to the Rolls-Royce stand, awkward, with an actual Phantom parked next to it. Geely said that they didn't see any similarities, and these cars were different. Clearly, it was reported at the time that Rolls-Royce was considering a lawsuit against Geely, but at just $44,000, it's unlikely that it would have infringed on Rolls-Royce's Phantom market, whereas prices there start at $350 large. Nevertheless, in 2011, Geely restyled the GE and rebranded it as the M Grand, and hopefully they made it look a little bit more original this time. What do you think? Hit up the comments below on all this video-ness. Number 2, Knockoff, the KDC Regola, originally McLaren's 570S. Yes, folks, you heard that right. A Chinese company has even made a knockoff McLaren. It's like they saw the real deal and thought, hey, we can do that too, but with less of a budget. English language information about the KDC Regola is scarce, but if Google Translate is to be believed, which we think it is, some Chinese sites say the car is fully electric. At least that's my take on the uses no fuel option. From the original orange paint to the butterfly doors, this one truly is a shameless copycat. But wait, there's more. There's still one that's more shameless than any others on this list. Stay tuned, folks. The show ain't over yet. Number 1 Knockoff, the BYD S8, originally based on Mercedes-Benz SL class. You thought the Chinese companies would stay away from the big brands like Mercedes, didn't you? Well, you thought wrong about that, my friend. They didn't care about no rules, and they just went to copying everything. So here it is, Chinese version of the Mercedes SL class. It has a 103 kilowatt engine, which is a fancy talk for mediocre engine, and could hold 50 liters of fuel, which is fancy talk for not much. But the best part of all this is Mercedes saw this knockoff and thought, hey, why not partner up with BYD to produce electric cars in China? Chinese companies copying Mercedes and Mercedes teaming up with a Chinese company. Talk about lemonade out of lemons. And that concludes our tour of the wild of Chinese knockoff cars. Who needs originality? We can have a Mercedes for the price of a Happy Meal. And let's not forget, these knockoffs are saving the planet, one electric vehicle at a time. So the next time you're in the market for a new ride, why not consider a Chinese knockoff? It might be the best decision you'll ever make or regret. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more knockoff adventures.